Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. How you guys doing? Taking like a little break from doing this yard work. See this garbage bag? Cutting the grass and everything else. I ought to turn the camera so you guys could, I wonder if I could turn the camera so y'all can see what the hell going on outside. Let me see. Can you see? See a lot more out there. We out here doing yard work, man. Okay, but anyway, once I do this video, I'm gonna go back to my yard work. Hey, look, I'm not sold on Keyshawn Davis quite yet. I understand what he did in the Olympics. I understand the man can fight, and I do think that he passes the eye test. But he has some he got some maturing to do. He looked very good last night. Don't get me wrong. Not trying to take any credit away from Keyshawn Davis. But as far as him at 135 pounds and him calling out, he didn't say the name, but we know who he's talking about, Frank Martin. To that, I got to say, hold your horses. Keyshawn Davis, look, that's just not the answer right now. Now, it's good to get his name out there. It's good to promote himself, to grow his profile and platform. But I just don't think Frank Martin is the fight he wants. Not right now. Keyshawn Martin needs to keep growing, keep winning. You know what I'm saying? Take another step-up fight. Because Frank Martin has already shown that he's ready to battle the elite. Keyshawn's not ready. But Keyshawn was doing some things last night that I thought was very good. I tell you what really caught my eye is when his opponent would throw a wide shot and he would catch it on his arm, right? Like the guy threw a right hand, Keyshawn caught on his left, and he immediately hit him with a hook to the body, hook to the head, and then right hand. So that showed me that he immediately reacts depending on where the opponent punch lands on him. That's called muscle memory. That tells me that Keyshawn, he's got the goods. But a guy like Frank Martin's not going to do stupid crap like throwing wide shots, okay? And Frank Martin's not going to waste shots. He's very conservative, and he's very smart. Every time he throws a punch, Frank Martin, it's with a purpose. Whether it's to hit you, whether it's to blind you, whether it's to occupy your mind, or to get you out of position, to bring your guard down, whatever. His punches have a purpose. And we know with Frank Martin, that left hand has proven to be like a heat-seeking missile. Whenever he throws it, it's getting there. He throws it from weird angles. But Keyshawn Davis is on his way. I just think he needs to leave Frank Martin alone. Because when you look at Keyshawn Martin in his fight last night, that reminded me of Danny Garcia against Rod Salka. That's what that is like. Okay, you got a guy in there, and you know he's willing to fight you, but at the same time, the guy's sitting there and he's outclassed. And once you decided, okay, let's turn up the heat here, I'm breaking him down. You know, the inevitable happened. So I'm not so sure this guy. Hold on one second. Got them kids, man. Can't tell your kids to stop playing on their iPads and having fun. Kids are innocent, let them be innocent. This video means nothing to me. But anyway, when you look at Keyshawn Davis and the whole thing about him and Rod Salka, let me tell you, Danny Garcia and Rod Salka, that's just how I see it. But when I sit here and we take a look at these rankings, and Keyshawn Davis, look, I don't know what Top Rank is trying to do when it comes to these guys fighting at lightweight. I mean, damn, they got Lomachenko there. They've got Stevenson there. Keyshawn there now. What is Top Rank trying to do? So obviously Top Rank looks to me like they're trying to get in position to take the belts off Devin Haney. That's what it seems like to me. But that damn Shakur Stevenson can fight. And Keyshawn Davis can fight too. But when I look at this breakdown, Keyshawn still has a way to go. Wanting to fight Frank Martin 17-0, that's just, he needs to leave him alone. Pitbull Cruz, I tell you what, man, he better leave him alone too. Ryan Garcia, I'd have to say he'd have to leave him alone. Tank Davis, we already know the deal with him, Lomachenko. I just think Keyshawn just has more work to do. In there with his hands down, and I guess he knew he could do that against his opponent, but bad habits. He's still young, still needs to grow in some areas. You know, you got to be in there locked in to your opponent. Frank Martin's locked in. Frank Martin's not talking to nobody outside the ring. He's not into all the antics, you know, and I don't like to see boxers do that. When I see that, I'm like, that's a bad sign. And I just think Frank Martin is just the wrong opponent to leave. Just needs to leave him alone. You got guys out here like Angel Fierro, who's a good opponent. A next opportunity for a guy like Keyshawn Davis. But if he's really trying to prove that he's ready to step up and take on like a Frank Martin or somebody, look, fight Jermaine Ortiz. Who do y'all think wins out of Keyshawn Davis and Jermaine Ortiz? See, that's a name we're going to keep throwing out here, right? If he can beat him, he's the real deal. But that's a whole other ball of wax. Even this guy, Shichiro Yoshida, that what's-his-name beat last night, you know, get in there and fight him. I just think Keyshawn Davis, man, he's very confident. He believes in his abilities, as he should. I'm telling you, he's a good fighter. I just don't think Frank Martin is it. Not at all. You know, Keyshawn was getting touched in there. And I think it's just by choice because he felt like the opponent couldn't hurt him. And he even said at the end of the fight, look, you know, I got a little emotional and needs to work on that going into the next fight because they were talking trash. But for me, I just think Keyshawn has to focus on another 5 or 6 fights before he's even thinking about getting in here with a Zepeda, a Lomachenko, a Davis, a Garcia, Cruz, a Martin, you know, Ortiz, even Yoshino, man. You know what I'm saying? But focus on your craft. I don't like to see these guys coming out the Olympics and just feeling within their 15th, 16th fight, they need to be a champion or, you know, fighting killers. You know, man, keep building up your record. Keep working on your craft. But I will say this. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You get an opportunity, kind of hard to turn it down because in boxing with the politics, you just never know if the opportunity will come back around. So I understand. But fighting Frank Martin, man, there's no rush on that. Bob Arum right now he's learned from some of his mistakes with Mayweather and with Terrence Crawford. You see, he's like, you know what, I don't really know how to market to the urban audience, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put these 3 young fighters on here. And let's just say black fighters. We know Shakur Stevenson is, you know, Puerto Rican and black, but let's just say 3 black fighters. This is what I noticed Bob Arum's doing. Anderson, Keyshawn, Shakur. And it's working for him because he's appealing to all the boxing fans. He's appealing to casuals who are familiar with Shakur and Keyshawn and what they've accomplished in the Olympics. And he's able to appeal to the urban audience that Bob claims he really didn't understand that well. But now he seemed to have figured it out because when he puts those fights on with those 3 guys, there's a lot of people who tune in particular what Bob described as the urban audience. And I'm glad to see that. But that being said, I just think Keyshawn Davis, he just needs to be careful what he's asking for because the kind of fighter that he's been fighting, to go from them and jump up to Frank Martin, that's just a mistake. That's like Devin Haney, who can really fight, beating Kambosos Jr. and now Devin Haney. But then again, he sparred so many people. That's the other thing. I got to be honest. I don't know who all Keyshawn has sparred. But Devin Haney has sparred Shakur, he's sparred Tank. So Devin Haney kind of knows where he racks and stacks against these guys. And if Keyshawn has done that too, well, then he knows where he racks and stacks. I personally don't know what Keyshawn has done as far as sparring. But just off that performance last night, I just feel it was like a Danny Garcia, Rod Salka kind of situation. He did what he was supposed to do to that guy. The guy looked much smaller than him as well. That's why I'm drawing that parallel between Danny Garcia and Rod Salka. But going forward, look, he may run into that Keith Thurman. He may run into that Sean Porter. He may run into that Earl Spence. So just be careful. I think they should be careful on how they're moving him. Bomac's not stupid. Terrence Crawford's not dumb, and Bob Arum isn't. But if they decide to go after that fight, who knows? When Earl Spence and Frank Martin, they may make Keyshawn Davis. Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford fight card, they may have Keyshawn Davis and Frank Martin on there. That sounds good to me. As a fight fan, I'm like, make the fight. But as a guy who's sitting back and just kind of, creates content on boxing, I don't think that's a good move for Keyshawn. Frank Martin, yeah, Frank Martin is ready. Frank Martin is no joke. Keyshawn's not. He's athletic. He's not Frank Martin athletic. And that left hand, I just think that left hand will ruin Keyshawn Davis's day. It's my opinion. But that being said, Keyshawn's got the goods. I just keep working. Don't go, man, and try to fast track success. Don't do it. Keyshawn, if you're watching this video, don't try to fast track your success. Just chill, keep building. Okay? Your time is going to come. You're right there. But you about take another 5 fights, fight some stiff competition, keep moving up the ladder, and then by the time you're ready to go out here and challenge these elite guys, matter of fact, it wouldn't be a matter of you calling them out. You'll be there. It's like, what's his name? Boots Ennis. He's right there. When I first started watching Boots Ennis, I didn't realize this man had all them damn fights. I thought he had like 6, 7 fights, man, 20-something fights. I'm like, where the hell did he come from? Just quietly working. You know what I mean? Now we all know who he is. And that's how I think Keyshawn Davis, I think he needs to maybe approach fighting like that. It's okay, man, to be 20-plus fights in, stacking up your dough, working on your craft. You don't need to fast track it. Just because all your peers around you are bubbling up and they've been at this for a while. And don't worry about chasing the titles. Everything's going to come. Everything is going to come. And I ain't talking about these little alphabet titles. the real deal, fighting killers. It's going to come. Just don't rush it. But that being said, leave your comments below. But I think if he's going to try to step up, yeah, man, he may want to look at one of these Fieros, or I don't even know about Pitbull Cruz, man. He may look at a Cabrera. But I think to prove that he's really ready for the next level, if Bob Arum thinks that, put him in there with Jermaine Ortiz. Put him in there with him. See if we can get past him. Then we'll know what time it is. Because that guy Ortiz is no joke. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. I'm in the breeze.